Now join us here on the floor of the big board, someone far smarter than I am in the world of cryptocurrencies, our good friend, the great John D'Agostino. He is head of strategy at Coinbase Institutional. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. Two JDs talking crypto. I love it.
This is what it's all about. Two JDs talking crypto. This should be a branded segment that we do here on the show. How should we view the price action for the crypto majors? We finally saw Bitcoin and the others regain a bit of steam the last few days, and then you have a day like today where you're reminded maybe we're not totally out of the woods just yet, John.
Look, despite a day like today, if you look back at the last 3 months since the liquidity catastrophe of October 10th, we've seen a steady, grinding recovery driven mostly by institutional participation. So while during the end of year, a lot of retail sentiment was horrifically negative, institutions didn't back down at all. The work they put in earlier in 2025 carried through Q4, and now we're seeing a steady, grinding recovery despite today's volatility.
Talk to me about DeFi versus centralized trading. Where do you fall on this, and what more should we know?
Sounds incredibly complex, and people want to pit one against the other, like want to pit gold against Bitcoin. Gold and Bitcoin work well together. DeFi, decentralized finance, works very well with centralized trading. We've always had DeFi in capital markets. It used to be called the OTC, over-the-counter market, and generally it dwarfed the listed market that you would see on the floor. It's no different in crypto. You have people who want to trade peer-to-peer and people who want the comfort of trading through a centralized exchange. The two work very well together.
How should we view the conversation of correlation? Because after that October 10th event, a lot of people have tried to say, well, it's correlated to tech and discretionary, maybe it's not correlated to equities. How do you view it for the rest of us to become a little bit smarter in the crypto space?
You gotta be really, really careful about this, because unfortunately with all assets, they're not correlated until they are. And it usually is at the worst possible time. The reality is capital flows are controlled by a bunch of big, large players. They tend to think in the same way. A lot of them are in Chicago, the prop shops, the market makers, and when things go bad, when it's risk off, most risk assets, including equities, including most forms of credit, including commodities, and including crypto, correlations tend to inch up. But the good news is, if they behave in a non-correlated or less correlated fashion through the normal course, they can still be very important for a portfolio.
That's an awesome answer, and I appreciate the much needed context here. This is, of course, a midterm election year, so you and I were talking before the show. If you're a member of Congress, your foremost focus, whether they admit it or not, is probably re-election, but they have to keep the light to the federal government on. They got no shortage of tasks on their plate. Where do you fall in terms of things like the Clarity Act or additional actual laws that lawmakers can pass to help the general crypto conversation?
So I'm still super hopeful. I mean, as you mentioned, we're in the middle of kind of political wrangling over the Clarity Act. Some good news coming out the last couple of days. I'm not sure where the poly market or Kalshi prediction markets are on the Clarity Act passing. I'm hopeful, though. The good news is regardless of that, we have an incredibly progressive, incredibly proactive CFTC and SEC that are passing pro-innovation rules all day long, every week. That's going to help us whether or not Clarity passes.
Anything else that's big on your radar, especially in the world of tokenization, as we now roll forward past the new year into 2026?
Tokenization is just a fancy word for the next evolution in how we transfer value. At one time, we traded paper tickets literally here on this floor. It moved to what we call upstairs, electronic trading. All tokenization is that next generation of technology that carries value from you to me. The difference is tokens can be smart and programmable, so they can solve things that traditional ledgers and ways of sending value can.
John D'Agostino, head of strategy at Coinbase Institutional, one of our favorite go-to professional voices to understand all things crypto and beyond. Great to have you, my man. Thanks for being here as always.
Always, JD.